Okay, so we just finished part one of this series, um, and now we're going to start part two. Changing the plan a little bit. This step of actually modifying, I'm going to cut this out of part two, and I'm going to move it down to about here, so it'll be a new part four. There'll be plenty to talk about, I think, in this part two here by itself. All right, so let's get going. So drag this up out of the way. And oops, drag this guy out. Minimize him, I guess. Why not? And here we are. So this is where we should all be now that the build script is finished. Now the build script just built the design, but it did not synthesize the design, which means it did not convert the Verilog and higher level language constructs into gates. So the gates have not been created yet. Also, the gates have not been, placed, meaning like you take those gates, you have to put them down in a specific location in the FPGA. And also, the routing has not been done, which is where you have to route wires from the drivers of certain gates to the inputs of other gates. So the routing of the wires has not been done yet. Um, and so that's what uh, we will do at the end of this video. It's really easy, just clicking a button. But anyway, so let's close this. Let's see, before we do that, let's save this synthesis report. Save. Let's put it down into our ICE folder. Why not? Script execution. Sure, save it here. All right, so now we've got it just in case we want it. Now let's close that. And now look at this design. Isn't that beautiful? This is all the higher level parts of the design. So we're here. If you hit the control key um, and scroll forward on your mouse button, you zoom in, scroll out, you zoom out. The MSS wrapper, that's where the microprocessor subsystem is. So that's that. That's a pretty interesting place to look. If you scroll in here, you got this fabric interconnect going to the peripherals. The FIC stands for Fabric Interconnect. This is what we'll be connecting up to when we eventually modify the design and have Blinky inserted into the design. We'll be connecting up to this Fabric Interconnect or something close to it. You can see some OR gates and other gates that are in here. Right now, so I told you that you could scroll in and out with the control scroll bar. Just hitting the just scrolling the scroll bar scrolls you up and scrolls you down, scrolls you up. And so this is where actually the peripherals go. So this FIC that we saw, it's just like a bus that connects things. Um, the actual place where the peripherals go is they've put it into this block here. Um, so they were there. And now I think this will do it. Let's press the shift key and scroll. And that allows you to scroll left and right. And so now let go, and that scrolls up and down. So we can center this block here. And so this is a clocks and resets block. And so this is the block that distributes a clock to all the different blocks. Clocks, if you don't know, are very important. So are resets in any digital design. We'll talk about that more in like the Verilog sessions. Um, Here we have all this PCI Express lanes which are coming in. So those are coming in from inputs. Here we have this input of a 50 megahertz clock going into this clock eye. We also have another reference clock, which I believe is used probably to go along with PCI Express. Here you can click on a signal. So right now I'm just scrolling with the scroll bar. You can click on a signal and it highlights it in blue. So this is a UART. The RX line of the UART is going to this peripherals block here. We've got a couple of switches that are on the board. So there's SW1, SW2, SW3, and they're running them into this OR gate. And then you can click on this guy here, and you can kind of scroll over if you want to, or you can continue doing things like this. And that goes to, so those switches are going in, and those are being served as some sort of MSS interrupt. I'm not quite sure what the MSS wrapper is doing with those yet, but this is allowing you to scroll up, scroll down. If you go to these, scroll on the far side, the usually what it is on the um, see, on the left side of the design are the inputs to the blocks, and on the right side are all the outputs from like this Polarfire chip. And so we've got these CAN protocols. We've got some LEDs. So these are what I'm going to eventually tap into. I'm going to break these runs here, and I'm going to reconnect it up to here. Because I want to be able to control these LEDs by myself. Let's see, just out of curiosity, do any of these signals go to the FIC block, FIC peripherals? Nope. So I'm going to have to break somehow, maybe add another OR gate. Who knows what I'll do? But I'll do something to connect this LED over to this peripheral block where I'll have new logic that blinks in the way we want to control it to blink. So it's control, scroll out. Let's see, let's scroll to, let's see if we can, so this is the top level of hierarchy. And so like if we went to this block here, you can click on it once. If you double click on it, that will go down into it. And so right now we are in the FIC3 control blocks. You can also navigate over and get back to the top level design where we just were. But what it did when you double clicked, it opened a new tab and it brought you into there. So the same tricks apply. Control, scroll, and here we've got some sort of click on this guy, scroll. Got some sort of address generation. And what's that do? So it has it so that this bus here, this APB bus, is called the Advanced Peripheral Bus. It's not so advanced, but that is coming from the master. And in this case, the processors of the master. Um, and so that's coming from this side. And then it's generating strobes and it's generating smaller buses based upon the address coming from the processor. So this signal here, this bus here, is working off of whenever the address is in this 5 million range. And this address here is working whenever you're in this 4 FFF range, I believe. And this address here is working in the 43 to 48 range. This one here is working when you're in the like when that bit is a 4, so in that range. So this block here is an address generation. Let's double click and see if we go down and see if that's got anything interesting in it. Double click. Look what it's got here. So it's still got this bus coming in, what we saw coming into it, and that is going to this arbiter. Then this arbiter goes, and what's it arbiting between? I guess depending upon if something is like a low hunk of addresses or in the 5,000s, this guy is separating the two. Now, we're not going to recreate any of this design as we just walking through it, showing you the different blocks that can potentially be in there. This is just a reference design, and we could potentially destroy and get rid of a bunch of this stuff. So just try to get a flavor on. These are blocks that are in here. Here is another block where this bus comes in with a certain addressing, and it tries to separate it out into like 0, 15, and 16. We double click on him. We go down into him. So this is like an official Polarfire block called a Core APB3. You can probably Google, find a Core APB3, and find out all sorts of information on that. Let's see if we can actually do that. Control N for new tab, and it's going to Core APB3. Enter. And look at that. We've got this book. We got a handbook. I usually go and end up going into the handbooks to try to read more details. And then you got all sorts of details on this core APB3. So Microchips has many different cores that help as building blocks that you can leverage. You don't need to use them, but they can be a good time savings, or sometimes not. Um, let's see. So here we are, and so basically this is just another block, and and we got these pass throughs. Why do you want to pass through? I don't know. That's interesting. APB target, APB initiator. Let me scratch my head for a second. I kind of like that the way. Okay, so no, I don't think I can use it. Not sure why I need this. Sometimes their designs, the output of this guy is not compatible with the output of this guy, so they use some sort of gasket type of block, which converts this protocol into this slightly different protocol. So potentially these are gaskets. See if there's anything in here. Ooh, lots of comments. And all it's doing is it's just a gasket. It's taking like one side and assigning it to the other. This is, if you're not familiar with it, this is Verilog code that's boom right there in all of its beauty. Um, and I do have um, a Verilog set of videos if you're interested in that, and you probably should be if you're not already familiar with Verilog. Let's see, so where were we? Let's close this guy out. You can see things start scrolling off the top tabs here. Um, so anyway, we got some I squared C stuff. So you might be familiar with that protocol. We got some GPIO blocks. Maybe I might potentially use those GPIOs. Just connect them from here over. I kind of want to I could do that, but I want to do more than that. So I want my blinky logic to actually be in here alongside of like one of these blocks. PWM, pulse width modulation, that's kind of cool. And so those are all built in. You can leverage them or create your own, which we will be doing. And so let's close this FIG3 peripherals block. Let's close this MSS wrapper, this IHB. Let's close the clocks reports, close this guy. And I think that we've probably done a not a bad job of, did I get rid of my top level? I think somehow it's gone. Where's my top level? We got cores. So I must have deleted it. I'll be interesting to see when I did. I'll look at that in the video. But we're going to keep marching ahead. Now, one of the things you can do is go to design hierarchy here. And so I think I've kind of lost this guy here. Oh, so did you see what I did? I left click over, instead of being over in this area, over in here. And I left click on this design hierarchy tab. And then I'm going to left click on the MF, this is the thing that's in bold, this base design. So I double clicked on it, and that brings us back to where we started. Remember, you can control scroll in, control scroll out. Um, uh, let's see if I'm scrolling in, control scroll in. Then you can, without any keys pressed, you can scroll up, scroll down, press the shift key, scroll left, scroll right. And also another thing that's of interest, I just want one more, I think to show one more thing, is that say we've got, say this signal here, and you want to go to the beginning of it, you can right click on the signal, and, but maybe not, click here. Um, all right, I wanted to go to driver. Did I just not see it when I was doing it? So let's go to this guy again. Go to drivers fuzzied out, because these guys I think are probably not being used. That's why maybe they're in this brown color, and only the real signals that are actually still being used are in black. So if we click on a signal though, instead of like scrolling over or whatever, you can go and you can right click on the signal and go to driver. And they'll shoot you right over to here. It's kind of scrolled in too far. So how do you do it? Control, scroll out. Here we go. And so this is kind of how you navigate the design. And it'll also be how you end up editing stuff, which is what we'll do in a future video. But now what we want to do is we want to go to this other tab here, design flow. Let's click on it. Still design flow. Let's see if I make it bigger here. Now we got it. Design flow. And so here is where we've kind of slurped in the design. And you can go and click on various steps along the way. But what we want to do is we want to generate eventually a bit file, generate a bit stream, which will be downloaded to the Icicle FPGA dev kit. So we're going to double click on this right here, generate bitstream, and then we're going to let it run to completion. It'll take a while. Um, it'll take a while, but I want to leave it on the screen so that we all can see it run, and and if yours ends up not working quite right, maybe seeing how one that works is supposed to work, that might help you debug your issues. So, and also I've put it right at this very big bottom here because sometimes it doesn't allow you to scroll up to see what's actually going on. So, verified post of this design. Yeah, I wonder if I can make it somehow just a little bit bigger. Can I do it? Can I do it? I don't know. No, that's as big as I can get it. So it's going to start. You won't be able to see anything because, like, this synthesis phase is going to be running for a while. Um, and so let's click on this. No, I want to do the. So you could click on the synthesis and see it actually going. So maybe you might do that if you're debugging a problem. And after your synthesis, then you can click on something like place and route or generate. I believe this will probably get you going. And then eventually you can click on this one. I'm just going for the home run of clicking on this guy. You won't be able to see anything like there'll be a spinning wheel up off the screen. I can't hit this scroll bar to get up to there. Um, and then it'll come down. You'll see a spinning wheel move down to here, and then it'll move down until it eventually gets and eventually stops spinning and it'll be done. So I'm going to click on this guy. Good luck to everyone out there. I'm to double click, double left click. And so this is running. I won't be doing any more talking. It's like 18 minutes into the video. And I don't know, it'll probably take around 10 minutes to do. So probably like the last, after 18 minutes, it's pretty much no new content. And it's just showing it's this guy building. It's going to be very boring. Just probably at the best spinning wheels. Oh, and also then we'll pick up in part three where we'll take hopefully the bit file was created and we'll download that to the Icicle Polarfire dev kit and just we'll see that it's successfully downloaded. And after that's done, then we'll go in and we'll modify the design. I usually find baby steps are good. Um, just run the absolute dev kit by itself, like the reference design unmodified. That's what we're doing. Make sure that all works, and then modify. And then after that, we'll do some play around with some C code to try to talk to the little block that we added, and then yeah, that'll be just about wrapping it up. Um, so I'll be quiet from here on out.